that secret way. It used to be 400.
Yeah.
Hi everybody and welcome to an amazing Fun with Captain Starlight out and about. Look, this is not a hospital. Where are we today? Well, we're here at the Australian Reptile Park. It's really special because we've got Tim here, who is a wonderful keeper at the zoo.
Yeah.
Is that what you call yourself, Tim?
I'm one of the directors.
The directors.
But the best part of my day is animal keeping.
Animal keeping. And now we're going to do some animal exploration in a second. But before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge all the traditional owners of all the lands on which we're tuning in from today. I know there's kids watching all around Australia on Planet Starlight, on Fun with Captain Starlight, on our YouTube page and our Facebook pages. So wherever you are, welcome. We love to have you here. Thanks for watching. If you want to comment, you can comment on planetstarlight.org. Just type away your questions, or head to the Facebook page and you can comment there too and ask us questions, because Tim, he knows a lot of stuff. He's a director of the Australian Reptile Park, so this is really exciting to have him here. And Tim, how long have you worked here?
20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, I'm
wow.
40 years old. I started here just after I turned 20.
Oh, wow.
And it's when you ask, what do I do? Like, I manage the business now,
okay,
which is about our teams and our income and our expenses. But I started as a keeper for the first 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And I did mammals and birds.
Okay.
And then reptiles.
Okay.
And Reptile Park does some pretty cool stuff too, where we have a really large collection of venomous snakes, deadly snakes.
Okay.
And we extract their venom.
Oh.
And then the scientists turn that into anti-venom. So that's what, if anyone's bitten by a snake, you get anti-venom that came from the venomous snakes at Reptile Park.
Wow, I wouldn't even have realised. So how do you get into becoming a keeper?
Well, I loved animals in the bush as a kid.
Yeah. And
I read lots and I watched really particular things. And so even I think that you got to have that love for it. And some kids are into space or robots or technology or, you know, but I just loved animals. And so when I left school, I started work at a wildlife park. And you know, for the kids, I would always say that if you're going to do something, do it properly. And things take time and you stick at it and you commit to it and you're dedicated to it. And if you're like us and you get to do what you love, that's a plus.
Now, one of the things that you love is it this creature over here. What is it?
Excuse me.
You're right. Oh,
I think everyone will know what.
Oh, we've
This
got a question
is-
ever. What is your favourite reptile?
Oh, that's tough. But it's a saltwater crocodile.
Oh, saltwater crocodile.
I love them. They're the largest reptile on Earth. They go back 65 million years, 80 million years actually, unchanged.
Oh.
So 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs went extinct, but not crocodiles. And, you know, they're just this instinctual beast of an animal. And I love them. They command respect. But, you know, you think something... Darwin,
Darwin's
there we go.
watching.
Hi,
Wow.
Darwin.
There's probably a few saltwater crocodiles up there.
Yeah, and none of this little fella.
What is the name of this little fella?
Olaf.
Olaf.
And Olaf is, of course, a koala.
Oh,
But don't you call it a koala bear?
why not?
Because they're not bears. They're marsupials. They have pouches.
Oh,
Let's have a look at a few things. Can you
Okay.
hold that hand out?
yeah.
So koalas have unique fingerprints like us.
Oh,
So can
wow.
you feel how soft that hand is?
It's so
Yeah.
soft.
Really sharp claws
Ooh,
for
very sharp.
holding onto the trees.
Yeah.
See the nose?
Yeah.
Well, this animal's a lot smaller than you,
Yeah.
but its nose is bigger than yours.
Very big.
So that's telling us something. What's it telling us? That it has a great sense of smell.
Oh,
And they use that because they eat eucalyptus. That's it. But most of the eucalyptus leaves are old.
okay.
And when they're old, they're dry and there's no moisture and there's no nutrients. So they're not good food.
Oh.
So their nose can tell the difference between a good leaf to eat and a leaf that you don't want to eat.
I need a nose like that. Oh, and we've got, is he named after Olaf the snowman?
Yes, big fluffy ears.
No.
We all,
Do you want to build a snowman?
all of the animals have names. Sometimes we do a lot of conservation too, which is saving threatened species from extinction.
Okay.
Now, when you do that, you might have a big program
Yeah.
and all the animals are in there. They're in a stud book, it's called.
Oh.
But they have numbers, like Olaf might be 001742.
Oh, a bit boring.
Boring. So that's why they each have their beautiful little names.
Now, what animals belong to the reptiles? Is this guy a reptile?
No. Well, we were talking reptiles because we're at a reptile park.
Yeah,
but,
right.
reptiles are lizards, dragons, skinks. You've, of course, got your crocodiles.
Okay.
You've got snakes of all descriptions, so venomous snakes, pythons.
Okay.
So that's your reptile group. Sometimes turtles are still in reptiles.
Okay.
Sea turtles and freshwater turtles, but don't confuse frogs. They're amphibians.
Not a
Okay?
reptile.
So different, but certainly not Olaf. So
Oh.
Olaf is, of course, a koala.
Yes.
Now, he doesn't have a pouch because he's a boy,
Okay.
but all the marsupials have pouches. And so Olaf is related to, his closest living relative is a wombat,
Oh.
which is really bizarre because wombats live underground and
Yeah.
koalas live up in trees.
Oh, yeah.
Feel this here, that
Okay.
both wombats, and just give that a tap. It won't hurt him.
Tap, tap.
Feel how hard it
Oh,
is?
it's quite firm.
It is. So wombats have, it's a big cartilage plate, like our ears are made of.
Okay.
So wombats use it. Let's say a dingo is chasing a wombat down its burrow.
Oh, gosh.
So
Yes.
the wombat goes down and then it goes boom and it pushes the cartilage plate up and blocks the burrow. And, you know, so
Yeah.
that's right, dingo can't bite it. Koalas have it similar, but it's where they sit in the tree. So I'm sure you can see in the back there, the crease line.
Oh, my
Now that's from
goodness.
repetitively sitting on a branch.
Okay.
But they've got that hard cartilage plate so their bottom doesn't get sore.
Oh, wow. There you go. Well, sometimes maybe after like a long car trip or something, you wish you had a cartilage plate on your bottom too, kids. You never know. Now, I know we are going to go on to another animal. So is there any more facts about the koala you should tell us about?
Well, I think without making anyone sad, it's
Oh.
worth just noting that koalas are threatened.
Okay.
They live in Eastern Australia. Where do
Oh.
most people live in Australia?
Eastern Australia?
Eastern Australia.
Oh,
So you've got habitat destruction is a major thing, but sometimes, you know, people, we know so much about like pandas or rhinos or
Yeah.
orangutans, but, you know, one of our most iconic animals is threatened. So, you know, as you grow up, give a bit of love to the koala.
remember the koalas, guys. Be kind to nature.
you
Okay, now
go.
Tim is going to show us another animal. And we're going to say hi to Ularu's watching as well. Oh, all the rooms as well as we've got rooms all around the country. So Alice Springs are watching and Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane and Perth. And hi,
that's
guys.
so good.
Adelaide, Westmead, Darwin, Newcastle, Randwick. Oh my gosh, they're all watching. So that's very
Wow.
exciting.
Hi,
Now,
everyone.
there is another animal coming. Is this a reptile?
This one is not a reptile.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you just have one last question
Okay.
about Olaf. How old was Olaf?
Oh, 1 year. So
Oh.
Olaf is just a 1-year-old koala. So 3 months ago, he was still drinking milk from his mum, from the pouch. But he's weaned now, which means he's independent in the wild. And he's left his mum. And so he starts his own journey as a little young male koala.
Oh.
The next animal, I'm going to see if someone can guess it.
Okay. Should we give a clue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give a few.
Okay.
It's called Chooky. It's
Oh.
not a chook, right? But I'm giving you a little bit.
Okay.
It's called Chooky.
Okay.
It's incredibly camouflaged. They often get confused as owls, but they're not
Ooh.
owls. They're
Oh.
nightjars, which is similar.
Oh.
Really big eye, nocturnal.
So it comes out at night, type of bird,
Yep.
native to Australia?
Oh, yeah. All over, everywhere that you just read out, the rooms that are watching, found all there. And
All around
nocturnal,
Australia.
sometimes around your backyard on the clothesline.
Okay.
Anyone know?
Oh, and in Canberra through the live stream, Ashley says, "Hi, Captain Freckles." Oh, hi, Ashley. You're watching. Great to see you, Ashley.
I'm sure someone.
All right, Ashley, I wonder if you know what this is. I'm going to guess a rooster, but I know you said it wasn't a chicken, so I'm probably not right.
Tawny frogmouth.
Wow.
Look at that.
A tawny frogmouth.
Tawny frogmouth. And so you can see why people confuse them for owls. Because they look like an owl, but they're called nightjars. And I'll show you a few differences.
Okay.
See the feet? They're very small.
Yes.
Well, they can't catch their prey with their feet.
Belle
Now-
says, is it a tawny frog?
You got
Belle
it.
got it.
Well done, Belle.
Well done, Belle.
An owl has, on its feet, it has talons.
Okay.
They're the
Big
claws.
claws.
And now an owl catches its prey by ripping into it with those talons. And then, see the beak up here?
yeah.
Well, an owl's beak is also hooked over because they can rip bits of their prey apart.
Oh.
But tawny frogmouths have to catch prey that they can swallow. They can't rip it to pieces and they can't. So that's what separates
Oh.
nightjars. Hey,
Oh.
would you
He's
like
very
one of
excited
these?
to be on camera. Now, do they come through the night? So I
Yeah,
think
that's right. They're nocturnal. Look at that
Yeah.
incredibly big eye.
Oh, wow.
And that's for nocturnal hunting. Now, see up
Okay.
here too, these feathers
Yeah.
around the front?
yes.
They're really sensitive. So
Oh.
their hearing is great, their eyesight is great, and when they swoop down on a cricket or an insect, then the feathers. Now, can you take one of these?
Yes.
These are mealworms.
Oh my gosh.
You
Yummy.
just have to grab one.
Just one.
Chooky's going to bite you a little bit, but it doesn't
Okay.
hurt in your fingers, please.
In my fingers. Great. Ooh. Okay, drop that one. These things are alive, kids.
They are.
Live worms. Oh,
Hey!
you missed it. You missed it.
Oh, up.
Okay, hold on. I'm not good at bird feeding.
Stop biting him.
The worm.
He thinks you're. There you go.
There
we
you
got
go.
it.
You got him. I got it in. I got it in. Yay!
I think he thinks your fingers.
I think they're
are
big worms. That's because I often use them. It didn't hurt anyway, but he's very cute. Ooh. And now he's kind of camouflaged, almost like when you pulled it out.
Oh,
I
it's-
thought it looked like kind of bark or something.
Exactly. So the reason they actually sleep out in the open, like just in these trees behind us here, you could find tawny frogmouths. And what they do is through the day, they sit there. And do you see now he's kind of striking that pose and the neck's up?
Ooh, yeah.
Well, you can have 2 or 3 sitting there, but they just look like a dead branch. And so that
Oh.
camouflage, you nailed it in that they look exactly like a tree, like bark. And it's really, really excellent camouflage.
And so are they hiding from other animals?
Yeah, sure. I mean, eagles would prey on them, goannas or
Oh,
dingoes,
okay.
certainly if they're on the ground. There are lots of
Yeah.
things, snakes and pythons.
Oh, that's so cool, Mr.
Hey,
Tawny
mate.
Frogmouth.
Okay, I'm going to pop in my way.
Okay, we'll see you
Chooky.
later. Thanks for the meal.
See you, Chooky.
Okay, well, there you go. Not only do captains love eating squirmy worms, but Tawny Frogmouths do too. Oh, that's so fun. Now, with these extra worms, do you want me to give them back to you or just give them to
Release
nature?
the worms.
Goodbye, wormies, fly. Oh, okay. The Tawny Frogmouth will get those later. Now, we've got more questions coming in, but we do have another animal.
Yeah.
Is this a reptile?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to switch now, and I'm going to need your help
Great.
because it's a really big reptile.
Okay, it's going so well with me so far, so it's fine. Great, yeah. Okay, fantastic. Now, it's a big bag you've got
You
there.
ready?
It's almost like Santa's sack. This is exciting. What present have we got for us today, Tim?
Could you please hold the top of this bag open for me?
Okay.
All right, I'm going in. I'm going in.
Oh, Tim.
Oh, here we go. Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Whoa.
Now, what is this?
This is,
This is not an alligator,
Nope.
is it?
it's one of the world's largest species of python,
Wow.
and it's called a Burmese python.
Wow.
They're from Asia, as it
Preston
suggests.
guessed it was a snake.
Oh,
there you
Preston,
go.
Good on you, Preston.
Good on you, mate. Have a look at that. Now, watch the first thing
Beautiful.
they'll always do.
Yep.
Do you see the tongue flicking?
I do. What
Try
are
and
they
see-
doing there?
That's how they smell.
Oh.
So they do not have a nose like us.
Not
They
like
actually,
the koala.
No, that's right. They taste the air. And so
Okay.
they take it in. There's an organ in their mouth that the tongue goes back in, and they can smell their prey. They can smell us.
Oh, wow.
Here, can you grab that end?
Somebody thinks it's
There you go.
Yeah. Oh my
And
goodness.
For
They
people,
are big.
some people might have touched snakes before. For those that haven't, everyone thinks they're slimy or something like that, but they're not.
It's not slimy.
It's just like
no.
leather.
Yeah.
just
and it
like
feels
leather.
Almost really quite nice.
So have a look at this. There's one. It's really camouflaged.
Very
Okay, so it
camouflaged.
blends in, and this is a jungle species.
Okay.
So it's going to have little bits of light getting through the canopy of the trees, and so look at this. You can see it's like filtered sunlight,
Oh,
leaves and bark
yeah.
and rocks and different shades of light. But there's one area that it doesn't need to be camouflaged because it's always on the ground or the branch.
Where would that be, kids? Underneath. That makes sense. So that's
look,
where
it's
it's
just white.
white.
Yep. And so inside, I just find that how does something move when it doesn't have arms and legs?
Yeah. What does it do to walk?
So inside, imagine that it has so many pairs of ribs, hundreds.
Yeah.
And
actually would like to know if the pattern is for camouflaging.
Oh,
Actually, the pattern, this species lives in the rainforest. And in the rainforest, you know, there's colours like bark of trees, there's sunlight that gets through the canopy. And so all of this is camouflage. You're exactly right. Inside, here, they have ribs, just like ours, a little bit different. And they go down each side. And when they move, those ribs move. And so the whole thing is moving like that. That allows the snake to climb or move forward along the ground.
Oh, incredible.
And Kobe asked, what's your favourite snake?
What's your favourite snake?
Oh, friendly one or not friendly one?
Now, this is a friendly
This
snake?
is a friendly one.
Okay.
You know, it's like when people talk about dinosaurs, they're like meat eater or plant eater.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
So my favourite not friendly one is the world's most venomous snake. It's called the fierce snake or inland taipan. It's found out in the middle of Australia.
Also, it's from Australia.
Yeah,
that one.
we have 10 out of 10 of the world's most venomous snakes.
Good
but
to know.
you're very unlikely to come in contact with them,
Okay.
especially because where that one lives. My favourite friendly snake is a green tree python.
Oh.
They're just bright green and they're incredible.
And where would they live?
They live up in Cape York
Okay.
in northern Queensland.
Oh, so if you're in Queensland, up the top of
Yep.
Queensland.
Yep, up in the rainforest there.
Very cool.
And they're green. They really just blend in with that rainforest.
And is this snake likely to grow anymore?
Yeah, so this is still reasonably small.
Okay.
They can get maybe 3 times the size of this.
Whoa.
And so in the jungle, they'd be eating things like monkeys, pigs,
they eat monkeys and
deer.
pigs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How would it eat a monkey or a pig?
Well, they've got like elastic jaws. So what happens is they've got teeth in their mouth that are like fishing hooks.
Okay.
And teeth in their mouth that are like fishing hooks.
Yeah.
And so when they bite onto something, they grab it. It's a python, so it's a constrictor. So it squeezes and suffocates its prey. And then its jaw can dislocates and they can widen it both up and down and across. And then they just slowly get over it and swallow it whole. And then you have a big lump in there. Looks like it's eating a basketball.
Preston is wondering how long is that one and how long could it be?
Okay,
Yeah,
how
so
long would this snake be?
This snake is about 2.5 meters.
Okay.
And they can easily get past 5 meters.
oh my goodness.
Yeah?
And so if it was like likely to see in the treetops, would it live?
Yeah.
Or?
In between.
Okay.
So like mid-level. So,
Okay.
I mean, and they will go to the top and they will come to the bottom.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're in that, probably from our head height,
Okay.
another meter or 2 above me is where they live in the jungle.
Okay.
Yep.
And I guess it's a good question to ask just for safety. If you ever see a snake in the wild and you don't know whether it's a safe snake or a venomous snake, what would you do, Tim?
Well, especially in Australia, always assume it's not a friendly snake.
Okay.
Okay? Because there are some venomous snakes that are very hard to tell between a python.
Yes.
So they can be really confusing. And, you know, if you're not an expert, you just got to just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just you have a look, take a photo.
Okay.
But, you know, same with spiders and things like that. And if you're ever bitten, again, you always just assume it's bad.
Okay.
So you wrap a bandage on, just get to hospital.
Yep.
But really, if you don't, if you're not sure,
Yeah. Don't just leave it alone and you
just
get out of
stay
there.
away.
question.
Toby was wondering, Tim, if you ever had to go to another zoo to learn about different
I
animals.
did.
Did you go to another
So
zoo?
yeah, before here, I was at another wildlife park in Sydney for 5 years.
Okay.
And so even this Burmese python isn't from Australia. Okay?
Oh, okay.
However, my interest is always Australian wildlife.
Yeah.
I love it. And I mentioned earlier, I play a little test for you here. I bet that everyone knows what a giraffe is, an
Yes.
orangutan,
Yep.
rhinoceros,
Yep.
an elephant, a
Yep.
tiger. But has anyone ever heard of a Gilbert's potteroo or a northern hairy-nosed wombat or an orange-bellied parrot or lesser hairy bilbies or planingales or dunarts or these are all endangered Australian animals.
Oh my goodness.
Like orange-bellied parrots, there's less than 100. Gilbert's potteroos, there's I think maybe now there's and I mean 100, just
Oh my
100.
gosh.
Gilbert's potteroos, there might be now slightly more than 100, but we don't hear about them. You know, they're not as cute as a panda. And so my passion has always been Aussie animals.
Oh my god.
But I did, and not just that, but I've done a bunch of educational courses to learn. Might be about macropods, which are kangaroos and wallabies, or reptiles, or venom, or even about business or management, or those different pieces.
All
and
the
so,
parts of it.
Toby
Yep.
says, wow, thanks for that.
Oh.
And Zach was wondering, what do snakes eat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
okay, so pythons, it's going to be tricky to see, but can you see the pits along the mouth there? See those pits?
Little pits. Okay.
They're heat sensing pits. So they can see, they can taste the air, but they can also see heat signatures of animals, and it sends a message to the brain. So python with heat pits, it's going to eat mostly mammals.
Okay. Okay.
So monkeys and pigs and deers and things like that. But the different snakes eat different things.
yeah. Yeah.
And so they'll eat, some snakes eat lizards, some
Yeah.
snakes eat frogs,
Okay.
some snakes eat birds. Pythons,
Do any snakes eat hamburgers?
oh, they wouldn't know what to do with it. How do
okay.
you swallow it whole and it all fall to bits?
That's true. All right. Oh, now this snake has stolen my ID badge.
She's got you.
Okay, so that's tricky snake.
There we go.
I think. All right. Well, we might say
Okay.
goodbye to Mr. Python.
See ya.
Bye. Now,
We've got one more.
one more. Okay, one more. That's so cool. Thanks, Tim. I think people can be scared of snakes, but I think it's because they don't understand snakes. I feel very good about knowing more information about snakes.
Well, you know, I said a minute ago, and to all the kids watching, you just touched on something about people caring.
Yeah.
And there's a really famous line that I've read, which is that people need to understand things before they can care for it. And so it's like what I said about Australian endangered species. If we don't know anything about them, how can you care about it?
Yeah.
So, you know, I encourage you, get Googling on Australian endangered animals, you know,
Totally.
or Australian animals I might never have heard about, or something like that. And that can just, it's new and it's
Yeah,
exciting, and
that's
you'll learn
right.
some stuff that you didn't see, but we have to have a bit of an understanding about things if we really want to care for them.
Oh, I love that. And if you're near Sydney, you can come and visit the Australian Reptile Park and see some of these animals in. Oh my goodness.
Okay, ready?
Who is this here?
Chopper, our little gator.
Chopper. Hi, buddy. Now, Chopper is not a crocodile.
No.
Oh, okay.
So this is an alligator.
An alligator.
Very similar,
Okay.
closely related, but these are from Northern America, but in the southern part of North America.
South part of North America.
That's
okay,
right.
I
That's
got it.
right.
I got it.
He's a wiggly worm at the moment.
And where do they like to live?
Yeah, so they live in massive big swamps and rivers, similar to ours, except that our Australian freshwater and saltwater crocs, they're restricted to the tropics. So North Queensland, Northern Territory, Kimberley, or
Okay.
Western Australia.
Do they go in water like crocodiles?
Oh, yes. Yes, they live in water. They're very similar to crocodiles. I mean, let's have a look at a few things you might be able to see.
Okay.
So gators and crocs, they grab onto items of prey, and the prey's not very happy about it.
Okay.
So they're going to try and scratch. And
Okay.
watch the eye. It sinks down into a bony socket.
Oh, wow.
So it sinks down into a bony socket. And if you have a look, remember, this is 80 million years of evolution.
So this is almost like a dinosaur too.
Feel this here. So it's protective.
Oh, yeah. It's like armor.
But do you know what it also does?
Keep it
It's
safe.
it's a giant solar panel.
What?
So they can put all of their blood up into these scales on the top. You feel here, you actually feel it's quite fleshy. So it's hard on top, and then it gets a bit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they send all their blood there. the sun heats up the solar panel, their back,
Okay.
and then they circulate that around the body because they're cold-blooded.
Okay.
So they have to warm up either with warm water or sunlight, and that's why they sunbake.
So in the morning, a reptile like this is not going to be very active.
No, it's imagine something when the batteries go flat.
Oh yeah. No.
And so if it's had lots of sun, full batteries, it's on fast forward.
Oh, okay.
But if they haven't got any sun and they're cold, they've really slowed down.
Wow.
Tail is almost as long as the rest of the body because that's what they use to swim.
Okay.
And when they swim, their legs actually fold back like this along the body.
Totally.
So that they're very efficient and streamlined.
Oh my gosh, I think an alligator would beat us in a swimming race.
Zach says he thinks they eat meat and fish. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, even turtles. They'll eat the alligator snapping turtles, which are really big. But yeah, meat and fish, that's spot on. Water birds.
But does a turtle have a shell? How would it get through the shell?
Crush it.
Oh,
they've got
jaws.
incredibly strong jaws. And look at this too. Can you see every one of those little black dots there?
Yes, there's lots of little
They're
black dots.
sensors. Oh. So they can pick up ripples in the water. They can feel other gators. When they call, because they're very romantic.
Oh.
And so when it's the breeding season, the males almost have a song. It's brrr, and their throat, they flick water off their back. And so, but all of these sensory pits are able to pick up different, I mean, we've got our touch and smell and taste. And, you know, the snake can taste the air with its tongue.
Yes.
We can't do that.
No.
And gators have these other tricks that, so you can see all the way along the bottom jaw and top jaw, all of those little sensors that can pick up vibrations.
And do they live alone or they live with a lot of other alligators?
A little bit of both, meaning they never like go and sleep together. You know, it's like, oh, come on, guys, let's go and have a nap.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do live in a swamp together.
Oh,
but you'll normally have like one big dominant male.
Yeah.
And then the other boys will all hide. And the females, they'll be wherever the best habitat is, and that'll be where the biggest boy is. And so they do live together, but socially, it's very complex.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, I like that. You don't think about the alligator complexity of life, but they are very cool, and they've got these teeth that you can see kind of hanging over their mouth when they close. But do they have lots more teeth?
Here's a thing for you.
Okay.
Can you try and point out where its ear is?
Well, the ear would be. Hold on a minute. I think it's missing an ear. Tim, does it have an ear?
It does. Do you see this here? See that little?
Oh, yeah.
See the little opening just beneath it?
Yeah.
So this whole part here catches the sound, just like our ears.
Wow.
And you know, that is their ear. It's just they can't have it open all the time. It gets full of water.
Oh,
so they're able to block it. And you know, even their nostrils. So their nostrils sit up on the head, so they can breathe without actually having their head out of water. But of course, they close.
Oh, they seal.
So, yeah, they seal, because what happens if you go underwater and your nose is open?
Oh, no.
Horrible, right?
Right up there.
Straight up there.
Bubbly nose.
Yep.
Oh, the alligator is such a cool, and I guess it's evolved over so many millions of thousands of years that it's become the best version of itself.
It does. And do you know what? When you've got an alligator or crocodile, and let's say it was a monster one, like 5 meters.
Okay,
that weighs nearly a ton.
Yeah.
As much as a small car. Whoa. But its brain is the size of a peanut.
Oh, that's a small brain for the size of a,
But they're incredibly, so they're not problem solvers.
No, right. They're not doing Sudoku.
But they're so instinctual.
Oh.
And so over that, since before the dinosaurs, you know, so the way they operate, they don't need a big brain like ours. They just are that instinctual. That's why I said earlier, they're one of my favorite animals, because I just love that you're looking at a living dinosaur and it's just perfected itself over so many millions of years.
Oh, they're very efficient animals. I love that. Oh, and does this guy have a name?
Chopper.
Chopper, that's right, Chopper.
Chopper.
So Chopper is, you know, chopping it up. Now, do you name all the alligators here?
Yeah.
How many alligators have you got?
Yeah, well, there's 45 in our big Gator Lagoon. And then we've got a few young ones, like Chopper here, that are growing up. If they went in there now, it'd get eaten. They eat each other. Yeah, so they've got to be similar size.
Okay.
So about 50 in total.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's very... Who gets to name them all? Do you guys come up with the names?
Oh, everyone does.
Okay, all right.
We've got, not at the reptile park, but we've got some conservation facilities in the middle of New South Wales.
Okay.
And we have species there that are endangered, like Tasmanian devils, rock wallabies.
Okay.
There's koalas, there's other, and we have so many that we've run out of things to name them.
Oh.
And so we've had to go through cartoons or you know, a TV series or different things, which makes me think, if you want to, and we had each of the rooms that are watching today, if you would like to, just one per room.
Okay, one suggestion per room.
So you've all got to agree, okay?
Yeah,
so
that's a good idea.
one name per room, and let's say this: you're naming a Tasmanian devil.
Okay.
So however many rooms there are, right now, all the devils have joeys.
Oh, perfect.
So they're only small. But in another 2 months, we'll be able to name them and we can let you know. And you can send it around.
We'll be in contact about what everyone starts thinking about names.
Send them through. So you get a name of Tasmanian devil, a little boy, a little girl, doesn't matter. Your room can choose.
Okay.
And there's no such thing as too many. We'll probably have about 100 joeys.
Whoa.
So we're not going to run out of names, okay?
Okay,
so you pick them and we'll name those devils those names that you choose.
That sounds so great.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. So there's a little competition for you. Now, I'm just checking about time, but we'll go to the final round of this wonderful presentation today, which is a little game, which you know that we love nothing more than anything is really just about poo. Whose poop is it anyway?
It's not mine.
I hope not. No. So we're going to show you the poo. Whose poop is it anyway? And we've got some poo here, which is always fun to have on hand. Now, the key is you guys watching have to guess what type of poo it is, I believe.
Yeah.
So the first offering we have is, what have we got to show this type of poo? Okay, is this a snake? Press the star button. Is it a wombat? Press the heart. Or is it Nana Starlight? So it's a picture of a square block there. And I'm wondering, what animal can lay square poop? Does that even exist?
Yeah, I know which one it is.
Oh, so Tim knows.
I can't say. My mouth is
if you're playing along for Planet Starlight, hit those emojis that you think it is. A snake for a star, a heart for a wombat, or a rocket for Nana Starlight. I hope it's not Nana Starlight's poo. That would be a bit embarrassing. You'd think she would have cleaned it up. But I want to know then, give us a clue. What would be square poo? Why would something have square poo?
Well, it would have to do with their digestive system.
Okay.
And maybe when it goes through the digestive system, they take all the water out of it because they want to be efficient.
Okay.
And when they do that, I mean, the animal's almost a bit of a square too.
Oh.
But when they do that, it compacts the poo and it turns into a cube.
Well, we've got 122 hearts, and I believe hearts were for wombat. Is it a wombat? It's a wombat. You guys were right. So they
have a look here.
Oh, we've got some live wombat poo.
Oh, sorry, this one isn't. These are bush jelly beans.
Oh, bush jelly beans. Okay, yeah.
Would you like to try one?
Oh, you just eat them, do you?
One.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'd love that. And what?
Bush jelly beans, right?
It's
from our koalas. Tastes a bit eucalyptus-y.
Oh, yeah, it does. It tasted like a gum leaf. Actually, I just had one more, but then no more. Then no more. I mean, oh my gosh, this has got delicious.
So these are koala droppings. And here we have the cube. The cube. There you go.
That's the cube.
So that's all wombat droppings there. But this one, you can see the cube. So you can imagine now, as it goes through the intestines and through the digestive system, it's all chewed up.
Yeah.
It's taken the goodness out of it, the nutrients out of it. But right before it comes out, they don't want to lose the water. I mean, Australia, it's a dry country, right?
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't always rain.
Doesn't always rain.
Even though it has the last few years.
Yeah, it's been
but
wet.
It doesn't always rain.
Right.
And so they want to conserve water. And what's the best way of doing that? Squeeze it out of the poo.
Squeeze it.
So they squeeze it into a cube. It has less water and it comes out like a square.
Oh, the kids are saying glad we can't smell it. But
no smell. It kind of
no, you're not close enough.
There's a smell. There's a smell. It kind of reminds me of like what mums and dads put on their cereal in the morning or something. But I don't think you want to eat this. No. Now, is there another round of whose poop is it anyway, or we might have to wrap it up?
I think that's it.
That's it. We've got one more here. Whose poop is this? Now, you might have just seen this. I don't know if you're watching. The star for a pygmy possum, a heart for a kangaroo, or a rocket for a koala.
That's tricky. That one's tricky.
Now, Tim, would you know that? Do you think you know it, or
I do? There's a couple of clues in it that I can see that's telling me which one it is, but that one's really tricky.
Yeah, because the thing about Tim is he looks after the animals, but you probably don't love looking after the poo, or do you?
Well, it's part of the job,
It's-
so I do. I mean, they've got to go to the toilet, and it's my job to keep them clean. So
Ah.
I don't mind.
You're a good man, Tim. Well, let's see what they're saying. Penguin. Someone thinks it's a penguin poo. Okay.
Oh, they must have skipped the koala poo because we already saw
It was.
there you
That
go.
was a koala poo. So this one is frog poop, a fairy poop, or penguin poop. So press your emojis with what you think it is.
That's tough as well.
Have you ever seen fairy poop?
No.
Because you probably don't deal with a lot of fairies here unless you've got a
No.
magical fairy guide.
No.
Now that's something that we do have at our hospital. So I don't think I've ever seen a fairy poop though. So
You
it would
might-
be
you might
hard.
have to check in those little...
Yeah. So answer along, and we'll see what the answer is there. It is going to be Westmead saying, "Ooh, the hospital at Westmead are like that doesn't look fun." Yeah, I hope that is frog poop. Maybe I don't know.
I
or
know what
penguin
it
poop.
is.
Well, you do, Tim.
I
All right,
do.
tell us. What do you think it is?
It's frog poop.
It's frog poop. Is it right? Is it frog poop? Let's see what they say. I hope it's frog poop. Otherwise, Tim. Yes, Tim knows. And how did you know that was frog poop?
Well, because
You just.
I
do.
just guessed it wasn't... A fairy poo would have to be glittery or
Yes,
something.
It is.
And the penguin eats fish, so I knew that it would be more a...
Oh.
And the frog poo, that's what they look like.
Okay, well, that makes sense. All right. Well, we are going to wrap it up with that game there because, guys, whose poop is it anyway? You can go and find out later on with Googling, like Tim said, about all these wonderful animals that you've shown us today and so many more. Tim, thank you so much. That has been outstanding.
My absolute pleasure, and thank you, everyone, for loving animals.
And now tell us, when are you open here at the Australian Reptile Park?
They're
So
always open.
Always open.
Not Christmas Day.
Don't come Christmas Day, all right? Tell Santa to bring you something else, not a ticket to come here on Christmas Day. But otherwise, come up and check them out. They've got all types of animals, the ones we've seen here,
That's
as well
right.
as other ones.
Yeah, there's lots of, I mean, everything that we've talked about here, but there's cassowaries and lots of kangaroos and possums and platypus and everything. And what I said a couple of times, mostly Australian.
Oh,
And I love it.
that
Come and
is
see them.
amazing. That is fantastic. We've had a great time here. Thank you so much for fun with Captain Starlight.
Yeah.
Everyone's so happy.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, Tim, you're the best. Thanks to all the team here that have looked after us so well. And you can follow us along on YouTube. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Bye. Thanks, Tim. Oh.
Good one.
Thank you, guys.
No worries. Thanks much.
Tim, amazing. Sorry, I got lost
Thank you.
in it. That was so magical.
Anytime.
Lovely. Kayla, mate.